This is awesome. So I'm here with AJ and Alice, the two beautiful grandparents that I've shared a little bit about, who implemented all the things that we talked about in Freedom to Thrive to their best of their abilities and received healings for themselves and for their grandkids. And so I just wanted to thank them for coming on today, and just to get your feedback. If other parents or grandparents are wondering what, should they do this, or what did you experience, or what was it like for you? Maybe you could just share a little bit about what comes to your mind. Yeah, and how your grandkids are doing now too.
Okay, well, I can tell you that from the very beginning, before we started, we had two children who were out of control as far as we were concerned, because we were at our wits' end as to what to do. One of the children, the youngest one, would run through the house hollering and screaming. When she gets frustrated, she would tear up papers. She would tear up her schoolwork. It was hard to get her to do her schoolwork at all and everything. So
And how old were they, AJ?
Jafari, Amunet at the time was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was 10 years old, and very difficult to deal with. Right now, know the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, there's a world of difference. We feel like we've gotten our child back. She was just totally out of control. We were at our wits' end as to what to do. And
back then, she was generally really unhappy. She was angry much of the time, and we couldn't really associate it with anything. Now, while she still has periods of time where she's upset, but it's not wild and out of control like it was. Plus, she gets up in the morning now with a smile. She interacts better with us.
Yeah.
She'll actually carry on conversations with us. And she wouldn't do that before.
So great.
This program has been a godsend. Jafari, he was
angry most of the time. He asked him to do something. He was
and Jafari had ADHD, and Amunet had autism.
Yeah. Right. So the changes were much more noticeable in Amunet, probably because she had
more severe symptoms. Yes.
Right. I do want to put this in right now. Jafari was very diligent about taking the nutritional supplement.
That's great.
And we really did see a difference. And with both of them, we saw a difference in changing the foods. Amazing. And eliminating now that they're back in school, because we were able to implement that during the summer really well here at home. And we know that now that they're back in school, they sneak things, but it's still, you can still see the difference.
It's so great. And I remember there were some days too when, I would do their healings for them, and then you would send me a note after and say, oh, what a difference. What was that like? Can you just kind of give people an idea of what you experienced as they were having their healings, or as you were having yours? What did you sense or feel?
Well, I could tell you each healing, I could see a difference. It was slow, but progressive.
Yeah.
And by the time we had the last healing, it was a marked difference.
So great.
I physically, when you were doing my healings, I could feel them. Because I would have this feeling like in the pit of my stomach, where when we initially started, I would get this like really anxious feeling. And then as we went along, it would relax. And then especially I think towards the last healing session, I just felt this release. And I miss those drums. I do.
Well, you're welcome anytime.
To run through the stores and go see if I can find some drums.
I love that.
But Amunet, like I said, and like Rose said, as we progressed, you could see the changes. They were steady. And one of the things I was worried about is, would this hold after we finished the first sessions and all?
Yes.
And it It
It
really,
has. So it's amazing. So let's talk about that for a minute. So we did our 8-week Freedom to Thrive program. I think we did it over 9 weeks because we had 1 week
yes.
break there. So we were together, you and I, for 9 weeks where I taught you what you needed to know to implement, and you had your healings as the parents and grandparents, and the kids had, I think they had 4 healings each, but then I
Mhm.
started daily healings for
Right.
them for about
Yes.
3
And
weeks.
that showed a marked difference.
Yes.
With the daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so great. And that
Um,
was, how long ago was that now? That was at least 5 months now, maybe?
Yeah, probably about
Yes.
5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so
because I
great.
was considering homeschooling her to begin the start of this school year,
Mhm.
but I have put her in school.
Oh, so good
And
to hear.
yeah, yeah, and
Congratulations.
we've had to speak with the teachers mainly to let them know that there are still some things because
Mhm.
she's still on Unet.
Yeah, she's
know?
still her
She
unique
is
self, right?
right, right.
Yes.
And so there are times and in a very structured environment that's still a lot of stimuli and
Mhm,
input that
definitely.
she has to deal with. So we had to let them know there are situations you're going to just have to back off a little bit, give her a little
Yes.
space and time. But so far she is doing well.
Mhm.
She likes being at school.
Mhm.
Oh, so
Um,
great.
She even has friends now. She
yes,
didn't have any
she
before.
had them
Oh, it's so
friends being
good to
interact.
hear. Yeah.
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 Makes a
So
difference to her, their quality of
Yeah.
life and to yours at
Mhm.
home, doesn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And we learned a lot from
Oh,
you to help us deal with them,
absolutely.
as to how to deal
Absolutely.
with them, because we were at our wit's end. We didn't know.
Mhm. Well, I have to say the two of you were like my 5-star clients, best clients I could ever ask for, because you just soaked it all in and you were so grateful, but you also took it and used it. You didn't just
Yes.
say, yeah,
Mhm.
that's good, that's good. You actually took it and implemented it. And I just honor you and praise you for that, because that is another reason why they're doing so well, because you're practicing what you received and what you learned. So it's really
Implementation was
beautiful.
key. Yes.
And
Yes,
I
implementation, right?
yes, I
Mhm.
still run into at church. I run into grandmothers like me who
Mhm.
are helping to raise or raising their grandchildren who are autistic.
Mhm.
And the first thing I tell them is what you started with us. You got to start with you. You got to
Mhm.
start with you. You got to change you. That
Yes.
they are special.
Mhm.
They are unique, and it's not them.
Yes.
And you got to back off and deal with you first. So,
Yes, it makes all the difference in the world,
and
right?
it does. And a couple of
Yeah.
them have just tried even that little bit, and they're
Mhm.
like, that helped.
Yeah, so
So,
great. And I want to just say too, your granddaughter, she went from an ATEC score of 64, which is showing significant signs of autism, severe signs of autism, to 27 in our 8-week Freedom to Thrive program. And the 27 score was insignificant, like barely there signs of autism. So I was so grateful to see that.
this is actually why I had to speak with the teachers, because they didn't really realize she was autistic. That's how
Mhm.
much of a difference
Wow.
that
It-
had made.
wow.
But I knew some of the stress she was under,
Yes.
So.
Oh my gosh. So would you say
Yeah.
you went from a home that was full of chaos to what are you in now?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
calmer. We can talk to them now, and for the most part, they listen.
Mhm.
Jafari is a lot calmer.
Yes.
He's not angry all the time. Very seldom do we see that anger. Matter of
Mhm.
fact, I don't recall seeing it
Yeah.
since we've done
Yeah.
this.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
anger
that's
is
so
like
beautiful.
gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so great.
yeah, because
And
he would get angry, a lot.
yeah.
And
And
Amunet used to say her soul was dead. Well,
mm,
now still say, but she's playing around with me like, oh, my
she's
soul is
joking.
dead. Yeah, because she's got a smile on her face, like, like I don't want you to forget my soul is dead.
And also you mentioned Jafari was helping his sister and they were playing more and helping her to take her
Yes.
vitamins and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And before that wasn't available to them. Is that right?
No, no.
That's so great.
But this is
Yeah.
a wonderful program. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It, I highly recommend it to anyone,
Yeah, great experience.
anyone who has autistic or ADHD children
Mhm.
that are not finding the conventional methods to work.
Yes, yeah.
So,
And this is a beautiful way to do it naturally too.
yes.
And I mean, it couldn't be easier because you don't even have to leave your home, right?
Yeah.
No, this
Yeah.
is far superior to
Yes.
the other methods, the
Mm.
conventional.
Yeah.
Far, far, far superior, believe me.
Did you try other methods before with either kids?
I mean, I was going to
Yeah, she went to
psychologists. And,
totally. She was seeing a psychiatrist and all, and they
Mhm.
were getting nowhere.
Mm,
They just finally got frustrated and said, until she's willing to talk, don't come back.
right. Yeah.
And
we had been to several, 2, 3, yeah.
yeah, we had
Yeah.
had 3 different
Yeah, and
psychologists,
nothing-
psychiatrists
Was that nowhere?
getting
Yeah,
nowhere.
and the
Well,
first
it-
ones, of course, they wanted to put her on drugs.
Drugs, and
Yeah,
we're like,
we
no.
didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting, isn't it? And it's nothing against psychiatrists or psychologists. There's always a place for all these things, and
Mhm.
sometimes even for medicine. But I believe that parents and the parents that take care of the kids, they got to go with their gut instinct and knowing their heart. And honestly, if all it takes is 8 weeks to see if something makes a difference in as little as 60 days, I mean, there is nothing to lose here, only so much to gain, right?
I'm glad
Yes.
we did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Very glad we did this.
That's so great. And if I'm so happy that they continue, and there's always the second program if they need it, if
Yeah.
you feel, they want that those daily healings every day for 6
Mhm.
months, and that's
Yeah.
available to everyone too. So I was so, I don't know what the word is, but I was actually so proud of you too, because of the way that you implemented and you just took it on, and it was a lot sometimes, I know, and I just
Yeah.
really want to
Yeah.
commend you for how you were and how you showed up for them and for yourself in the way that you really have created a different quality of life for all of you.
Well, and the things that you said spoke to our spirits.
Yeah.
You know, it
Made
just
sense.
integrated so much with the way we thought and the
Yeah.
way we do things
Yeah.
that it wasn't hard to do.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
we
so great.
knew that
Just
this is
needed
what
the
we
right
need to do.
path.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it didn't have to take you 10 years to figure it out, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just offer too, could you imagine if how you arrived had kept escalating, where you guys would be now compared to where you're at now,
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would not be pretty at all. It would not be pretty.
Right.
Well,
They were out of control.
Yeah.
And we
And
did not know what to do. We were
yeah.
trying our best, but we didn't really
Yeah.
know how to
Yeah.
deal with it.
And that's the beauty of really working holistically, right? Addressing your child or grandchild and you, the caregiver, physically, emotionally, and energetically makes such a huge difference to everyone. So thank you so, so much. If you had, and yeah, go ahead. If you had any other
And
things
that was the
you
key
wanted
from
to
the very
share.
beginning,
Mm,
to deal with ourselves first.
yes.
Go inside and realize that our attitudes and our way of trying to handle it just wasn't going to get it.
Getting it.
Yes.
You know, we had to change our mindset.
Yes. Yes.
So that was key. Very key.
It was key, but it was beautiful to watch too, because you seem to have done it pretty easily. It was almost like a light bulb went off and you were just like, oh, that's all? I'm going to try
Yeah,
this. And then
right.
you saw the
Yeah.
results, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
so great.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that they're both doing well, and I'm sure they'll continue to do wonderfully. And I always love seeing both of you. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your
Thank
program.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.